In a tropical forest in Yunnan, a titanic creature called Mothra is being held captive. A group of more than 100 scientists have been dedicated to studying this giant creature, which is still in its larval stage. Dr. Emma, a key member of the Monarch organization, is in charge of the research. She activated the safeguards to prevent the moths from causing unnecessary destruction. However, the moth did not seem to like the rays of light directed at it and began rolling towards nearby devices. The sudden agitation caused the guards to panic and open fire, angering the moth. Within just a few seconds, Mothra had trapped several guards. As Mothra began to show signs of going berserk, an assistant tried to activate a device to kill it, but Emma stopped him. She turned on the device she had been developing for years to pick up the sound frequencies of the moths and then played back similar sounds. At first the sound waves had no effect, but when Mothra attacked Emma, she miraculously adjusted and amplified the frequency of the sound waves. The agitated Mothra calmed down, and Emma was delighted to have found an effective way to communicate with the monster. Their joy was short-lived when terrorists suddenly invaded the base and killed all the scientists. For the safety of her daughter, Emma complied and handed over the device to them. The terrorists did not target Mothra, believing its power to be insignificant and that there were no humans left to keep. The moth escaped to a waterfall to await its transformation. The terrorists took Emma to a secret base in Antarctica, where another, even more powerful monster was being held. Their target was this incredibly powerful creature. It was being kept in a frozen state. When Emma collected the sound waves of that creature, a global crisis emerged. The sound waves awakened the monster using their advanced device. At the same time, Godzilla, the king of the monsters, also awakened. Since the last battle with Muto, Godzilla had been inactive at the bottom of the ocean. Sensing the awakening danger, everyone became restless. Professor Serizawa deduced from Godzilla's movements that its target was the base in Antarctica. The Monarch team hurried there on an aircraft carrier to rescue Emma. Meanwhile, the terrorists were making their final preparations by drilling holes in the ice and placing remote-controlled bombs. As they retreated, the Monarch team arrived, leading to a standoff on a bridge. But Emma unexpectedly detonated the bomb. Her capture was actually part of her plan, as she was protected by mercenaries. Emma ran to the helicopter and activated the sonic device, adjusting its settings. She emitted an invisible wave that caused the ice to collapse, summoning a frozen monster. This creature is called King Ghidorah. It is an extraterrestrial monster with 3 heads. It was unfazed, unbothered by the soldiers' bullets. With a vicious nature like a wild dog, Ghidorah began launching long-range attacks as it prepared to wipe out the humans before it. A giant hand appeared from beneath the ice. It was the infamous Godzilla, arriving just in time. The 2 most ferocious monsters of the era roared at each other. Then Godzilla grabbed one of Ghidorah's heads and slammed it into the ground. However, Ghidorah's multiple heads and mastery of electrical attacks knocked Godzilla aside. Godzilla was gathering energy. He unleashed a breath attack from the endless plains. But Ghidorah dodged and counterattacked with a gravity beam, causing explosions around Godzilla and pushing him into a deep pit. At that moment, the human military arrived and attacked Ghidorah. Although it was unharmed, Ghidorah decided not to linger due to Godzilla's presence and quickly flew away. Meanwhile, Emma released another imprisoned monster from a volcano. It was Rodan, who was unaffected by the flames and soared into the sky. The military, wanting to eliminate this threat, provoked Rodan with missile attacks. In retaliation, Rodan unleashed destruction with its supersonic roar, turning cities into rubble as it flew overhead. As Rodan battled military aircraft, Ghidorah appeared and the 2 monsters clashed. Despite Rodan's strength, it was no match for Ghidorah. As Ghidorah approached the command ship, Godzilla reappeared, bit its neck, and plunged into the sea. Underwater, Ghidorah was at a disadvantage and soon lost one of its heads. However, just as Godzilla was about to win, the military fired an oxygen missile at the area where they were fighting. This attack was intended to wipe out all life within a 3-kilometer radius, as they wanted to eradicate the monsters from the world. Unexpectedly, Godzilla sank to the bottom of the ocean and showed no signs of life. Meanwhile, Ghidorah survived and flew up. It is an alien species from outer space, does not need to breathe oxygen, and possesses regenerative abilities that allow its severed head to grow back. Its roar awakened monsters all over the world and caused massive destruction. Soon, all the monsters emerged from the ground. Among them was Mothra, emerging from a cocoon beneath a waterfall, stunning nearby researchers with its beautiful wings. Sensing that Godzilla was in danger, Mothra headed toward Godzilla's location, detecting faint signals indicating Godzilla's life signs. It could recover from its wounds in a few years if left undisturbed underwater. But now humanity needs Godzilla's power to fight against Ghidorah's destruction and to revive Godzilla. Professor Serizawa and a team dove to the ocean floor and discovered an ancient ruin. As they approached the cave, they encountered increasing radiation, forcing them to make a difficult decision. Professor Serizawa set out alone in the submersible, carrying the nuclear bomb to revive Godzilla. As he approached, Godzilla was weak. Serizawa activated the bomb's detonator, sacrificing himself to ensure Godzilla's revival. He removed his protective suit, knowing he would not have time to escape the explosion. He approached Godzilla, called to wake it up, and then released the nuclear bomb. The radiation from the bomb healed Godzilla's severe wounds, enhancing its strength for the upcoming battle with Ghidorah. The alien monster Ghidorah, with its immense power, awakened the dormant monsters across the globe, causing a massive natural disaster. The mastermind behind this chaos was Dr. Emma, who intended to use the monsters to restore the Earth's balance, which had been damaged by human activities. However, Emma's daughter did not want this to happen. She took the sonic device and used it in a stadium to try to stop the monsters. But Ghidorah was not affected by the device. It located her position and attacked. It roared angrily and destroyed everything around it. It used powerful electrical currents to crush everything. When Ghidorah was about to finish off the girl, a hand intervened. It was none other than the handsome Godzilla, now fully revived. He arrived together with a human escort team. Although the military's attacks only caused minor disturbances to Ghidorah, they still created an opportunity for Godzilla to strike back. Godzilla engaged Ghidorah in battle, unleashing his even stronger atomic power, now enhanced by nuclear radiation, making him twice as powerful. Suddenly, Mothra joined the battle by using her silk to restrain Ghidorah, pinning him to the wall and causing him pain as he collapsed to the ground. However, just as Mothra was about to attack again, the monster Rodan intervened on Ghidorah's behalf in this struggle for dominance. Rodan distracted Mothra just long enough for Ghidorah to recover and unleash a powerful attack. The assault destroyed several fighter jets and forced Godzilla to retreat. In another turn of events, Mothra delivered a critical blow to Rodan but was also seriously injured. Ghidorah used its powerful wings to lift Godzilla high into the air and drop him, then unleashed a powerful lightning blast to kill Mothra. When Emma arrived, she used the sonic device to distract Ghidorah, giving Godzilla a chance to recover. Ghidorah, enraged, chased after Emma, and in the end, Emma sacrificed herself to help Godzilla regain his strength to face Ghidorah. At this moment, as the red energy from Mothra's sacrifice spreads, Godzilla unleashes a devastating nuclear pulse with immense destructive power, incinerating Ghidorah until only the central head remains, which Godzilla then burns to ashes with his atomic breath, ending the threat of Ghidorah. When Ghidorah is defeated, the other monsters submit to Godzilla and acknowledge him as their alpha. Emma's actions are driven by her belief that the monsters are part of Earth's natural defense system and serve as a necessary counterbalance to the controversial destruction caused by humanity. She endured the loss of her son in a previous monster conflict and chose to coexist with the monsters, believing she could control them with her device. Emma's decisions were driven by a mix of grief and anguish, hope for a balanced world, and an underestimation of the alien nature of the monster Ghidorah, which ultimately led to catastrophic events. Her ultimate sacrifice to save her daughter and assist Godzilla, along with her original intentions, raises a complex question of whether Emma can be forgiven for actions that caused such chaos, even though they were meant to restore Earth's ecological balance. So what do you think about this issue? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you all and see you next time.